Hello everybody, my name is Evelyn of Pink Sheep Design, and today we are here to take a look inside my new planner. I've wanted to publish a book for quite some time, and I decided to start with something a little simpler, and I started with a planner and a few different journals that are now available in my Amazon, on Amazon. So today I wanted to take a quick look through my Life and Yarn Crocheters weekly planner. You guys can see that. A planner for crocheters and yarn lovers. The structure of this planner is based on one that I have been using for quite some time that for some reason just really works well with my brain. So this is an undated planner, which I really wanted so that, you know, people could purchase it for any year that they want to. It's not specific to 2023, which is the year that I have published it in. And I've already started using this planner, so that way you can kind of see how I am planning to use it to plan out my life and plan out my projects. And I want to flip the camera around and we'll take a look inside. All right, so we are here to talk about how I have been using the Life and Yarn planner. I have not finished filling out a lot of the intro pages, which I have heard from a few people have been very helpful. I just haven't gotten to that point yet. I do feel like purchasing some of the little sticky tabs. So you can actually find sticky tabs with months on them, which is super helpful. These are just little kind of post-it note tabs. I am definitely going to be ordering something that is a little more durable to put to show myself where each of the months are in the planner. So when you open it up, you'll find my contact information, a little bit about me for anyone who purchases this and maybe doesn't know who I am. You also have a space to put who the planner belongs to and how to contact that person if the planner is left or lost. I wanted to have some reference pages, so I've got Crochet Abbreviations, common US to UK abbreviations, standard yarn weights, hook stash tracking. So these are all the different standard and non-standard. I wanted to make sure that I included hook sizes that might be a little harder to find because we actually make some non-standard hook sizes like the 7 here that does not have an actual letter, as well as like an 18 millimeter, 17 millimeter, 20 millimeter. These aren't usually included in the standardized sizing, as well as 12, 13, 14. But we make those hooks and sell them in our Etsy shop. So we wanted to make sure that those were included. We also have quite a few pages of yarn stash and project planning. So if you're looking to have your yarn stash tracked here in the planner, I think I had 2 or 3 pages. Let's see, so 2 pages. So I may need to add some more. I know a lot of people have a lot more yarn than that. But the planner was already getting pretty big, so I was trying to figure out the best way to allocate the pages. Now, I do have a digital version of this planner that has yarn stash project planning pages. So if you wanted to just have a binder for your yarn stash, you could download the digital version of this planner, which is about half the cost of the physical planner, and you could just print out the yarn stash pages and have an entire binder for your yarn stash. Then we move on to Year at a Glance, which I have not had time to fill out yet. I will use this for some of our big dates and some of the big things that we do throughout the year. We also have a place for important dates, so if there's things coming up that you know of that you want to make sure that you keep an eye out for. I also put in a 2-page spread for birthdays, which is something that I feel like a lot of planners that I have purchased in the past don't have, and I always wish they did. So I put that in here as well. This is where the month layout and weekly layout starts for each month. So I start with January at a glance. I wanted somewhere that you could kind of look ahead. Do you have big events or notes that you want to take a look at in January? There's a monthly to-do list, so if there's things that you need to get accomplished within that month, you can place this here and kind of plan ahead for the month. And then there's also January project planning. So I wanted a place where if there are projects that you want to start or complete in January, this is where you can place them. So we've got project pattern/source, whether it's an order, a gift, or a personal project, the yarn and materials that you're going to need for the project, if you have a deadline, and if you have any notes about the project. So this is where you can start doing that. And I have a couple of these. I think there's space for 6 different projects. Yep, so that is the next layout. And then this is the part that I have started actually diving into and using. Now, I didn't receive this until a little bit later in January, so I didn't have much to put on these. But again, this is an undated planner. So since January started on a Sunday, down here, up here, I just put January/December because the first couple of dates are for December 2022. And then I've got January starting on a Sunday. Now, this layout always has made me really happy because if I have something that has to get done on that day, I'm able to put it inside the day, like if I have an appointment or a deadline or something like that. But then over here, it's more of a generic to-do list and notes. So a little more low pressure. I don't want to plan out my day hour by hour, which some people do. There's nothing wrong with that. But for me, just having some space over here for specifics for each day, and then having space over here to jot down notes and to-do lists for the week makes my brain happier. So that is how I set up this particular planner. So it goes all the way through. You can start to see I've got notes written down here. And then I have specific things for each day. So announcing the journals and planners, woohoo! That happened on the 2nd. My YouTube lives, chiropractic appointments, lovely things like that. So, and again, I just put these in parentheses. Now, I did want to tell you guys, I know some people worry a lot about the bleed through of the pages. So if you guys want to take a look, this is actually a marker, and let me show you those markers. Okay, so these are the markers, the fine line pens that I've been using. So they feel more like a super skinny marker. It says water-based ink, 0.4 millimeter tip size, vibrant colors. So I was a little concerned if this planner did not have thick enough pages that I might get some bleed through. And I still may with the darker colors. I really don't use the darker colors as much. But let's take a look. So this is the front side using kind of a mid-range pink color. And if I flip over to the back, you can see there's really not bleed through. Now I can see that writing right here, but it's not going to keep me from being able to write on top of it. Same thing here. You can see, obviously I had written on the back of this page, so you can see a little bit, but it doesn't have that bleed through. Now I would not use fine line Sharpies on this, but some of those fine line markers and pens seem to work very, very well for this planner, for the thickness of the pages. All right, so I've continued working through this. Now, this is where, because I give 5 weeks per month, depending on how the month and year starts at the beginning, it may run through to the next month. So, for example, this is the last weekly spread for January and then the next page is February. But I only got up to the 29th of January here. You guys can see. So I only got up to the 29th of January. So what I had to do was the same thing that I did for the start of January. And when I got through to February, I started February/January. So I started with the 30th of January, 31st of January, and then the 1st of February started on a Wednesday. So that's how I handled that. Now again, when you get through to February, I did actually write a few things down. So for February, dermatologist appointment on the 1st, my husband's birthday on the 10th, and then a couple of different things that I might want to do that month. Now I try to keep things, I've got question marks here because I'm not sure, but this is a great way to kind of think ahead and, okay, what do I want to accomplish in February? Larger goals, to give me kind of just an idea of what that month will look like. So I really enjoy that. And then again, you have project planning for it. Now you could use this as an update. So if you have projects that are going to take more than a month, you could update that here. So here's the project source, and in your notes, you could, have where you're at with the project. if you're going to have to push the deadline, that kind of stuff. So again, you've got space for 6 different projects, and then you move into your February weekly spreads. Now, I haven't even gotten to here yet, so I will need to fill these out, but that's how it goes through the rest of the planner. At the end of the planner, let's see, we have one page here at the end that says reflections on the past year and goals for the new year. And then the rest of it are a couple of different pages for notes. If you're at all like me, I do use the notes pages in the very back of the planner for random stuff that I want to remember. So I did decide to keep a couple of notes pages at the end if anyone is like me and wants those extra pages for random things that you want to remember and you don't want to have to remember where in the planner you wrote them down. But that is the inside look. That is how I am using this planner to plan out my life and my projects. And I truly hope that this kind of helped you if you were on the fence, if you were looking for a planner, looking for something to help you with your crochet projects. There is a link in the description to this video to where you can purchase this planner. And I hope this was helpful. Thanks, guys. Happy hooking.